Alrighty then. So today I'm installing a new floor over top of this existing vinyl. I just posted a video about why I'm going over top of the existing, so I'm not going to talk about it in this video. But one thing I will mention is that anywhere I found loose vinyl, I went around the room and I cut it up. Alright, so now the next thing I want to do is some math. Isn't that exciting? We get to do math. You really do use it sometimes in real life. All right, so these are about 6 inches. And so I'm going to start in the back here. And I'm going to scribe the first board to kind of match the curvature of the tub, even though there's not much of a curve to it, but I think there's enough that I want to try to match it. But so what I don't want is at the doorway, I don't want like some tiny little sliver of flooring installed there. So what I'm going to do is figure out if I need to cut this first piece in half or anything like that. So it's about 71.5 inches. So what we can do, where the hell's the calculator on here? Okay, so strangely, that old phone I had didn't actually have a calculator on it, so I had to go to my computer to do the math. So since these are 6 inches, and the width of the room here is 71.5 inches, I did 71.5 divided by 6, which comes out to like 11.916 or something like that. So to figure out if the last board is going to be wide enough or not, what you can do is take the 11, so there's 11 full boards, okay? So that's 11 times 6 is 66, and the full width is 71.5. So you would do 71.5 minus 66. And whatever's left over, that's how wide your last board's going to be. So after doing the math, it's almost a full plank there. So I'm not too concerned about it. So I'm just going to start with the full plank up against the tub here, minus what I cut off for scribing, which is what I'm going to get to next. This house never ceases to amaze me. So I was just kind of laying out my flooring over here, and then I heard water dripping, and I look over, and all of a sudden all this water is dripping, and this paper towel is all wet. And then I realized that I heard the pump going for the air conditioner, the way that is set up. That we have this pump here, and this is a condensation pump for the air conditioner. And typically what you do is the condensation would come out through here, and it would usually like go into a drain. Like we have this drain for the water heater, and it would just drain out like that. For some reason, this is set up where it's actually pumped up through the attic, and I've never really taken much time or care to figure out where it goes. But wherever it goes, clearly it pumps water into this drain here. And actually, that might be, you know what, this might actually be it. It might bring the water down like this into here, and then of course, this doesn't look very correct, so there's not enough pressure for it to go out, so then it spills up. Old houses, man, they're weird. All right, so this flooring, I read the instructions because it's good to do that sometimes. And they want a 1/4 inch gap along the wall. And I don't have any like vinyl spacers or anything like that, but I do have these shims. And these are pretty close to a 1/4 inch on this side, so it's good enough for me. Okay, and then so now I need this side to go under here. So when I measure this out, you may have seen my older video on how I do this. But since this is the piece that I need, I'm going to put that side towards this wall, and I'll put the spacer there. Push it up against the spacer, and I'm going to mark it here. And now this is the piece I want to save, and then this is the cutoff. But I'm not going to put like a big X on it or anything, because what I'm going to do is use this cutoff to start the next row. All right, so now to cut this, I'm just going to use my square, line it up with my mark. It's really a shame that this thing had a drip all over my board here. And usually to cut this vinyl plank, and this is my first time working with anything this thick. This is one of the thicker vinyl planks you can get. But typically, all you really need to do is kind of score it, and then you can just snap it. Now to put this in. Should work a lot like laminate. All right, so I was trying to decide the best way to make sure that these boards are going straight, because nothing in this room is actually straight. The tub's not straight, the walls aren't perfectly straight, the room's not square. Like, there's not really anything for me to go off of, except the one thing that I do want to make sure of is that the flooring, the planks in the bathroom run perpendicular to the planks in the hallway here. And so what I decided to check was how close they got when they originally laid this vinyl down. And it's pretty close. So I think for simplicity, I'm just going to kind of use what they did as kind of my guide. All right, so the problem that decision causes is you can tell that on the right side there's a bigger gap than on the left. And that's, like I was talking about before, how the tub insulation is kind of screwed up from all the foundation work. So now I need to scribe these first two planks to kind of fit snugly against the tub. And you could use something like a compass to scribe this, but you don't really need to get that fancy. I mean, in my case here, this is pretty darn close to just being the right distance anyway. So what I'm going to do here is just kind of, I don't want my knife, I want my marker. So what I'm going to try to do is just very carefully use this as my guide, like this, and here, put this marker leaves. All right, now you can see the mark that I put on there. So I'm just going to carefully cut along that line. All right, so next I have to cut around this a little bit. So, my next piece, this is the cutoff side. This is the cutoff from that last piece I did. And then what I want to do is just kind of slide that into place. Then I can kind of see where I need to cut around this. And so I'm just going to eyeball it. Doesn't need to be perfect. And now I'm just going to use some tin snips, kind of cut around this piece. Alrighty. There we go. Yeah, it's exactly what you don't want to do. That's what you don't want to do. I'm just trying to eyeball it. So I think if I take about this much off, long pen, I think if I take that off, then we should be good. Use 10 snips. So I want to take a little bit more off. I think I probably do. All this time I thought I was getting stuck on something under there. Then you kind of take. If I take all of that off. There we go. That's almost in there. Yes. There we go. That sucks because after all of that, I guess I was being too aggressive. And look at all that damage on this end. There's no way to hide that. Oh man, that sucks. Well, it's the home stretch, folks. So it's 4 1/4. 4 1/4. Alright, so that should be my last cut. Alright, so I did my little cut here. Had to put on a glove because that snipper was actually giving me a blister. That's what happens when you work a desk job. Alright, so then to kind of eyeball out how much I need to take off at this end, I'm just looking at how much it overlaps over here. So I'm lining it up with the edge of this board, and then you can see the little overlap here. So that's about what I'm going to take off. And I'm not going to be too scientific with it. It looks like it's about half an inch maybe. So that's what I'm going to take off. Go. Ugh. Okay, so it's the next morning. After I got the floor installed, I decided to paint the walls, and I brought the vanity back in. It's not installed yet. I just brought it back into the room. And the next thing I need to do is get all the trim on the walls. And since the trim is like the old existing trim that I'm just reusing, I'm going to get that installed so I can get the vanity lined up with exactly where it was before. And then once all the trim's painted and all of that, then I can get the toilet back in and get the doors back on, and then we'll be done. So I don't know how much of that I'm going to record, but we'll see. So I spent my morning in here trying to finish everything up. I got the trim installed, vanity's back in. It needs to be cleaned up a little bit. The last thing I have to do is get the toilet back in here and do the threshold for where the doorway is. But I want to talk about the vanity for a second, because the manufacturer of this flooring, if you read the instructions, it says to floor up to cabinets. So they want you to install cabinets or vanities first and then do the flooring around them. And I think the reason for that is because the weight of the cabinets and stuff will like kind of make the floor come up. And I feel like it is a little bit loose right here, which is, a little unfortunate. But if you look at the front of my vanity, like there was no way I was going to try to cut flooring to fit around all these little fiddly bits. So I made the decision to not listen to their instructions and just run the flooring all the way and then just put this on top. And I mean, the movement here, I feel it when I walk on it because I know it's there, and I'm just crazy like that. Like I pay attention to that kind of stuff. But for the most part, I don't really think anyone's going to notice or care about it. So it's not a big deal, but it's just something to keep in mind. Like if you're doing a kitchen or you're doing your own bathroom and you use this product, you want to go around cabinets and vanities. Now we have reached what's personally my favorite part of any flooring job. And that is installing the transition strip. I opted to go for a wooden one, even though this is laminate flooring. I couldn't find the perfect match for this flooring, and the wooden ones are a little bit less expensive. So okay, chill out. Of course, I had to make a mess. Why wouldn't I? Alright, now just keep a little bit of weight on it until the glue fully sets up. I'm just gonna put some weights here.
2 months later. So it's been about 2 months now, and everything's still holding up well. I like it. I like the way this turned out. I'm happy with it. It was an easy product to work with, and I was able to get this done in a weekend. So, overall, very happy. I think that'll be it for this one. So, as usual, if you found it useful, feel free to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.